Now I'm going to talk a little bit about a game called Hardspace Shipbreaker, which is not the greatest name, but apparently there's already a game called Shipbreaker on Steam, so they had to call it Hardspace Shipbreaker. Um, this is a first-person game where you tear apart derelict spaceships. So this is like a future where we're all in space and we got space stations and flying around on ships and stuff like that. And just like today with cars, ships, they get outdated and they end up in junkyards. And your job is to take these ships and tear them apart and scrap them for the resources that you that can be recycled, kind of. Like there's some metals that can be recycled and some computer parts and stuff within these ships that can be recycled. And it all takes place in kind of like a small shipyard, and it's all zero G, and like I said, first person, so you're moving around in first person, and you have a laser cutter tool that reminds me kind of like the plasma gun in Dead Space. It has like that same kind of, the front to it can be turned like vertically or horizontally to cut in those directions. And you get a grapple tool that you can latch on to things and yank them off the ship and stuff like that. So it's in early access right now. And for an early access game, it's really pretty well put together. I haven't run into any bugs or anything like that. And there's actually quite a bit of content there. You can there's several different ships that you can take apart, and you kind of, as you advance, you get access to more complex ships. I haven't really gotten too far into ship complexity, but even within the basic ships, there are different layouts that you have to get used to. And it's kind of cool to like learn these ships inside and out, like literally inside and out, and learn how to pull them apart most efficiently, because you have a time limit and a work order that you have to complete within that time limit. So the more stuff you do on that time limit, the more you get paid. So learning how to quickly get to a reactor inside the ship means you're going to get paid more, because you're going to get access to that sooner. And it looks good. Like graphically, it looks really cool. Like when you're shooting a laser, you got you get like heat marks on the metal that look like you just cut it with a super hot laser and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing like where it goes from here, like how they plan on expanding it. Whether it's just more complicated ships or they add something more to it. But as of right now, I'd say it's worth checking out. It's on Steam. I think it's I got it for 20. I think it was on sale. I think it's usually either 25 or 30. Which is 30 might be a bit much if that's what it actually is. Let me check real quick, because I don't want to get that wrong. Because 30 is too much, probably. No, it's 25. So which is, I think that's a more fair price for what you're getting right now. And obviously you'll buy it in early access. You get the updates for it and everything like that.
And the gameplay hook holds up, because obviously it's like the antithesis of something like a Satisfactory, isn't it? If you're tearing down and not building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do a lot of tearing down in Satisfactory too.
Yeah,
you're always having to redo your entire factory, which is actually the most annoying part. Yeah, I think it is, because like I said, you have these ships and you just learn them inside and out, right? So there's more complexity to it. Like, so the ships, when you first start out, they're pressurized. So like if you just go in and start cutting holes in it, they're gonna explode.
Oh.
Because and they might kill you, but also it might damage something inside the ship that's valuable that you need to retrieve. So you have to learn, like, okay, I have to go in through the airlock, depressurize, and then I can start tearing apart the walls of the ship and stuff like that. And then there's stuff like, there's like the interior of the ship where people would actually sit in and walk around in, but then there'll be like in between like that wall and the outside wall where there'll be other stuff that you need to grab, like coolant cells and energy cells and stuff like that. So you just have to learn how to cut the ship up in certain ways to get access to all of that different stuff. And there's kind of like an unlimited amount of complexity they could go with too, because they can just keep like making bigger ships, more complicated systems and stuff like that. So, yeah, and it controls pretty good for like, you were complaining, Lee, about underwater controls. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with in zero G. You're moving up and down, left, right, all sorts of different directions.
That's a lot slower though, isn't it? I suppose because it is zero G, so you get to get your bearings. Yeah.
So it's like, that, and you got to worry about momentum, right? Because there's nothing slowing you down. So like if you yank something off of a ship, and if it isn't going in the right direction, it may drift off into space, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's past your grip of the length of your grapple gun or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. And I'm enjoying it as it's kind of like a chill game. It's nothing. It's not super hard, and even if you do kind of have a little bit of a failure, it's not like it's the end of the world or anything like that. Yeah, so that's a Hardspace Shipbreaker that's on Steam right now. It's an early access.
Terrible name.
I know, it's bad. I mean, Shipbreaker would be okay if it was just that, but like I said, I guess there's another game on Steam called Shipbreaker, so they had to add Hardspace to it, which they could have added anything to it. They didn't have to add Hardspace. I don't know.
It sounds like a spoof action hero.
Yeah, it does. It also sounds like it's part of a series when it's not, like the Hardspace series or something.
Yeah. Starring Big McLargehuge.
Yeah, Big McLargehuge, and he in Hardspace Shipbreaker. Thank you for joining us on this very special episode of Voxel Viewpoint. If you'd like to hear or see more, please consider subscribing to us on your favorite podcast app, subscribing to us on YouTube, or visiting voxelvoice.com, where all of our great content comes together in one place. Also check out the Voxel Voice Facebook group, where you can join in on the discussion with a great, like-minded community.